The word hung in the air like smoke. Rebecca said it with a smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. Her husband Derek chuckled into his wine glass. My son Owen studied his plate like it contained the secrets of the universe. "Dad's just difficult sometimes," Rebecca said again, as if repetition would make it kinder. "You know how he gets." I didn't know how I got. I'd spent the last 3 hours preparing a meal for people who showed up 20 minutes late and immediately started rearranging my furniture. I'd smiled when Derek asked if I'd figured out how to use the new oven yet. The oven I'd owned for 6 years. I'd nodded when Rebecca suggested I should probably think about downsizing soon. "You're right," I said. I picked up the salt shaker and handed it to Owen, who hadn't asked for it. "I apologize." Derek's eyebrows went up. Rebecca's smile widened, genuine now, the smile of someone who'd just won something. Owen took the salt and set it down without looking at me. The conversation moved on. Rebecca talked about her new position at the marketing firm. Derek mentioned their upcoming trip to Costa Rica. Owen said something about his apartment lease. I chewed my turkey and watched them. I watched the way Rebecca touched Derek's arm when she wanted to emphasize a point. I watched Derek refill his own glass before anyone else's. I watched Owen glance at his phone under the table every 90 seconds. "Dad, are you listening?" Rebecca's voice cut through my observation. "Of course." I asked if you'd thought about what we discussed, about the account. The account. My retirement account. The one Rebecca had been circling like a shark for the past 6 months, ever since she'd married Derek and discovered he had opinions about optimizing family assets. "I've thought about it," I said. "And?" "I'm still thinking." Derek set his glass down with a soft clink. "Tom, we've been over this. The market's shifting. You're leaving money on the table." I cut a piece of turkey. "It's my table." "That's not what I meant." "I know what you meant." Rebecca's voice went soft, dangerous. "See? This is what I'm talking about. Difficult." I put my fork down, looked at her. Really looked at her. 28 years old. My daughter. The girl who used to bring me dandelions from the yard. The teenager who'd cried on my shoulder when her first boyfriend cheated. The woman who'd asked me to walk her down the aisle 8 months ago. That woman was gone. Or maybe she'd never existed the way I'd imagined. "You're right," I said again. "I'll call someone next week, get it sorted." Her shoulders relaxed. Derek smiled. Owen finally looked up from his phone. "That's great, Dad," Rebecca said. "Really, this is good for everyone." I nodded, picked up my fork, finished my turkey. They didn't ask what I meant by sorted. They didn't ask which someone I'd call. They'd stopped asking me questions that required real answers 6 months ago, right around the time Derek started showing up to family dinners with printouts about wealth management strategies. Dessert was pumpkin pie. Rebecca had brought it from a bakery, presented it like she'd made it herself. I cut slices, served everyone. Listened to Derek explain cryptocurrency while Owen scrolled through Instagram. "We should do this more often," Rebecca said when they were leaving. She hugged me, and I smelled her perfume, something expensive Derek probably bought. "I know you get lonely out here." "I'm fine." "Still, we worry." I walked them to the door, watched Derek's Tesla pull out of my driveway, Rebecca in the passenger seat already on her phone. Owen's Honda followed, bass thumping through closed windows. I stood on the porch until their taillights disappeared. Then I went inside, locked the door, walked to my study. The documents were exactly where I'd left them, in the bottom drawer of my desk, under a stack of old tax returns nobody would ever look at. I pulled them out, read through them again, even though I'd memorized every word. The trust had been established 4 months ago. The retirement account had been transferred 3 months ago. The house title had been updated 6 weeks ago. Rebecca and Owen thought they knew what I owned, what I controlled, what I'd eventually pass down. They knew nothing. I'd moved every important asset into a structure they couldn't touch, couldn't contest, Couldn't even find without a team of lawyers and a reason to go looking. And I'd done it slowly, carefully, through a network of professionals who understood discretion. The best part? I'd done it right after Rebecca called me complicated for the first time. That was 6 months ago, at a family dinner much like tonight's. She'd said it casually, laughing like it was a joke. But I'd seen Derek nod. I'd seen Owen's careful non-reaction. I'd seen the future, so I'd built a different one. I put the documents away, locked the drawer, walked to the kitchen, and started washing dishes. My phone buzzed. A text from Rebecca. "Thanks for dinner. Sorry if I was harsh. You know I love you." I dried my hands. Typed back, "I know. Love you too." I sent it and immediately deleted the thread. I'd learned to delete everything 6 months ago. Keep no record, leave no trail. The dishes took 20 minutes. The house was quiet when I finished. No TV, no music, just the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic on the highway. I sat in my chair in the living room. The same chair I'd sat in for 15 years, the same house I'd lived in for 20, the same life, except it wasn't. Everything had changed the moment Rebecca said, complicated. Everything had changed again tonight when she said, difficult. She thought she was describing me. She didn't realize she was describing her future. I closed my eyes, tried to remember when it had started to go wrong. Was it the divorce? Ellen had left 12 years ago, moved to Arizona, remarried. Rebecca had been 16. Owen had been 13. They'd adjusted. Or I'd thought they had. Maybe it was earlier. Maybe it was always there. Some fundamental misunderstanding between who I was and who they needed me to be. Or maybe it was simpler. Maybe they'd just grown up and decided I was no longer useful except as a source of money and a target for jokes. My phone buzzed again. Derek this time. "Hey Tom, when you talk to that financial advisor, I can recommend someone. My guy's really good." I stared at the message. Didn't respond. Let it sit there, unanswered. A little piece of anxiety for Derek to chew on tonight while he lay in bed next to my daughter. The clock on the wall said 9:30, early for Thanksgiving. Most families would still be together, watching football, playing cards, arguing about politics. My family had left 2 hours ago. I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the empty street. Tomorrow I'd make the call. Not to Derek's guy, to my guy, the one who'd been waiting for my signal, the one who'd move the last piece into place. Rebecca thought I was going to hand over control. She thought I was going to be reasonable, cooperative, manageable. She thought wrong. I'd spent 6 months preparing for this. 6 months watching, learning, documenting. 6 months letting them think I was confused, overwhelmed, ready to step aside. And now they'd accelerated their timeline. Now they were pushing. Now they were confident. Exactly what I needed. I picked up my phone, opened a secure messaging app I'd installed 3 months ago, typed 4 words, green light, move forward. The response came in seconds. Confirmed, Monday morning. I deleted both messages, uninstalled the app, factory reset the phone. Then I went to bed. Tomorrow was Friday. I had the whole weekend to prepare. Monday, everything would change. Monday, Rebecca would learn what difficult really meant. While you're here, hit the hype button, don't forget to subscribe and support this channel with a like. And tell us below, have you ever faced something like this? Friday morning arrived with rain. I woke at 5:30, same as always. Made coffee, stood at the kitchen window watching water run down the glass. My phone rang at 6. Unknown number. "It's me," the voice said. "Martin." We'd worked together 20 years ago before he'd retired and moved to consulting. Before I'd become someone people called difficult. "We good?" I asked. "Locked and loaded. The last transfer hits Monday at 9 a.m. After that, the well is dry. They'll notice. They'll notice Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. By then it won't matter." I poured my coffee. "Any problems?" "None. Your daughter made it easy. She's been telling everyone you're losing it. Half the people she's talked to think you're already incompetent. Good. Tom. Martin's voice changed. You sure about this? You have kids, Martin? 3. They ever call you difficult at Thanksgiving in front of their spouses? Silence. Right, I said. We're good. I hung up, drank my coffee, watched the rain. At 7, I got in my car and drove. No destination, just movement. The highway was empty, morning commuters not yet awake. I took the interstate north, past the suburbs, into the country. The rain followed me. I drove for an hour before pulling off at a rest stop. Sat in the parking lot with the engine running, heat on, wipers going. This was where it had started, in a way. 6 months ago, I'd driven this same route after Rebecca's first complicated comment. I'd needed space to think. I'd stopped here at this same rest stop and realized I was angrier than I'd ever been in my life. Not the hot anger of an argument, the cold anger of betrayal. My daughter thought I was complicated. My daughter's husband thought I was manageable. My son thought I was irrelevant. They were all wrong. I'd spent that day making calls to Martin, to my lawyer, to a financial advisor Derek had never heard of. I'd asked questions, listened to answers, learned things I'd never bothered to learn before. How to move assets without triggering reports. How to establish trusts that couldn't be broken. How to create structures that looked simple but weren't. I'd learned fast. Now, 6 months later, I was untouchable. My phone buzzed. Rebecca. What are you doing today? I typed back. Errands. You? Working from home? Want to grab lunch? I stared at the message. Lunch. With my daughter, who thought I was difficult, who was probably already spending my money in her head. Can't today, I wrote. Maybe next week. You always say that. Next week? For sure. I put the phone away, started the car, drove back south. The rain stopped around 10. I pulled into a storage facility off Route 9, punched in a code, drove to Unit 47. Inside were boxes, 47 boxes to be exact, each one labeled, organized, alphabetized. Documents, records, proof. I'd been collecting evidence for 6 months. Every conversation with Rebecca about my assets, every suggestion from Derek about optimization, every silence from Owen when his sister pushed too hard. Not for court. I wasn't suing anyone. This was insurance, leverage, the kind of ammunition you keep loaded but don't fire unless you have to. I checked 3 boxes at random. Everything was still there, still organized, still perfect. I was locking the unit when I heard a car. Derek's Tesla, black, pristine, pulling into the lot. I stepped back into the unit, pulled the door almost closed, watched through the gap. Derek parked 3 units down, got out, looked around like he was checking for witnesses. Then he opened his unit. I couldn't see inside, but I could see him carry in a laptop bag, a small safe, and a stack of folders. He was there for 5 minutes. When he left, he looked relieved. I waited 10 minutes after he drove away. Then I walked to his unit, checked the lock. Industrial grade, new. Derek had secrets. Interesting. I drove home. Spent the afternoon organizing my study, every piece of paper in its place, every file backed up, every password changed. At 4, my phone rang. Owen. Hey, Dad. Owen. You busy? Not particularly. Can I come by? I need to talk to you about something. I looked around my study. Everything was ready. Everything was hidden. Sure, I said. When? Now? I'm like 10 minutes away. I hung up, walked through the house, double-checked the study, locked the drawer with the documents, put the key in my pocket. Owen showed up in 12 minutes, driving too fast, like always. He came in without knocking, like always. Hey! Hey! He looked nervous. Good. We sat in the living room. Owen picked at a thread on the couch. What's going on? I asked. Rebecca asked me to talk to you. About? The account thing. She's worried you're going to back out. I leaned back, watched him. Why would I back out? I don't know. She thinks you don't trust Derek. Do you trust Derek? Owen looked up. What? Simple question. Do you trust your sister's husband? Yeah, he's okay. Okay. Yeah. But not great. Owen shifted. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Silence. Owen went back to picking at the thread. Rebecca needs this, he said finally. They're trying to buy a house. The market's crazy. Derek's got some opportunities, but they need liquidity. They need my liquidity. Dad. Owen. He stood up, paced to the window. Why are you being like this? Like what? Difficult. There it was again. The word, the label, the excuse. I stood up too, walked to where Owen was standing. Let me ask you something, I said. When's the last time you called me just to talk? Not to ask for something. Not because Rebecca told you to. Just to talk. Owen stared at the window. I don't know. Neither do I. But I remember the last time I called you, 3 months ago. You let it go to voicemail. You texted back 6 hours later. Said you were busy. I was busy. I know. You're always busy. Rebecca's always busy. Derek's always got opportunities, and I'm always difficult. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. You want to talk about fair? Your sister stood in my house yesterday and called me difficult in front of her husband. You sat there and said nothing. And now you're here, asking me to hand over my retirement because they want a bigger house. It's not like that. Then what's it like? Owen turned to me. It's like you're my dad and I'm asking for help. That's what it's like. I looked at him. Really looked. He was 25, still young, still figuring things out, still under Rebecca's thumb. Okay, I said, I'll help. His face relaxed. Really? Really. Tell Rebecca I'll sign whatever she needs. Monday. I'll take care of it Monday. Thank you. One condition. Owen's face tightened again. What? You have to be there. When I sign, you have to be present. Why? Because I want you to see it. I want you to be part of it. Family decision. Owen nodded slowly. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Good. Tell Rebecca. Monday, 10 a.m., my lawyer's office. You have a lawyer. I'm 62 years old, Owen. Of course I have a lawyer. He left 5 minutes later. I watched him drive away. Then I called Martin. Change of plans, I said. Monday at 10, my lawyer's office. I need you there. What's happening? They're all coming. Rebecca, Derek, Owen. They think I'm signing over control. Are you? In a manner of speaking. I learned from the best. I hung up, walked to my study, pulled out the documents. Monday was going to be interesting. The next few weeks were strange. Rebecca called every Sunday, never asked for anything, just talked about her therapy, her job, her life. I listened. Didn't offer much, but I listened. Owen came by twice a week, helped me with things around the house, fixed a leaky faucet, replaced a light fixture. Normal father-son things. It felt foreign, but not bad. Martin called every few days, checked in, made sure I was okay. You're being too soft, he said one afternoon. Maybe. They hurt you. I know. So why are you letting them back in? I'm not. Not yet. But I'm not closing the door completely either. Why not? Because I'm tired, Martin. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of protecting myself from my own family. You think they've really changed? I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. He sighed. Your funeral. Probably. December came. Rebecca invited me to Christmas. Just dinner, she said. At Owen's place. Nothing fancy, just the three of us. I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking. I thought about it for a week. Then I called Owen. Christmas dinner. Is this a setup? No, Dad. It's just dinner. Rebecca's cooking. I'm hosting. You're invited. That's it. She's really cooking? Yeah, she's been taking classes, trying to learn. That surprised me. Rebecca had never cooked, always ordered takeout or picked up bakery items. Okay, I said. I'll come. Really? Really. Christmas morning, I wrapped 2 presents, one for Rebecca, one for Owen, nothing expensive, books I thought they'd like. I drove to Owen's apartment at 5 p.m., knocked. Rebecca answered, apron on, flour on her hands. You came, she said. I said I would. She hugged me. Quick, careful, like she was afraid I'd break. Owen's apartment was small but clean, Christmas lights strung up, a small tree in the corner. Smells good, I said. Roast chicken, Rebecca said, and vegetables and potatoes all from scratch. Impressive. Dinner was ready at 6. We sat around Owen's small table, 3 of us. No Derek, no drama, just family. The food was good, not perfect. The potatoes were a little undercooked. The chicken was slightly dry, but Rebecca had made it herself, and that counted for something. This is nice, Owen said. Rebecca nodded. It is. I didn't say anything. Just ate. After dinner, we exchanged gifts. I gave them their books. Rebecca gave me a framed photo of us from years ago, before the divorce, before Derek, before everything. I found it in storage, she said. Thought you might want it. I looked at the photo. Me, Rebecca, Owen, and Ellen. Happy, or at least pretending to be. Thank you, I said. Owen gave me a new coffee maker. Figured you could use an upgrade. We cleaned up together, washed dishes, put away leftovers, normal things. At 9, I stood up. I should go. Already? Rebecca asked. It's late. Okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me. She walked me to the door. Can we do this again? Maybe next month? Maybe. I'll take that. I drove home, put the photo on my desk, made coffee with the new coffee maker. It was good coffee. January came. Rebecca called every Sunday. We talked more. About work, about life, about nothing important. She didn't mention money, didn't mention the trust, didn't mention Derek. Owen came by every week. We watched football, fixed more things around the house. Slowly, carefully, we rebuilt something. Not what we'd had before. Something different. Something more honest. February, I invited them to my house for dinner. Rebecca looked shocked when I called. You want us to come over? If you're free. We're free. We're definitely free. They came. I cooked. Simple pasta, salad, bread. We ate. We talked. We laughed a few times. It felt almost normal. March, Rebecca asked if I wanted to meet her therapist. Why? Because she thinks it might help if we talked together. About what? About what happened. About how we move forward. I thought about it. Okay. We met with the therapist the following week. Dr. Morrison. Kind eyes, patient voice. She asked us questions about Thanksgiving, about the trust, about Derek. Rebecca cried. I didn't, but I talked, really talked, about how I'd felt, about the betrayal, about the loneliness. Dr. Morrison listened. Then she said, Healing takes time, but it sounds like you're both willing to try. I am, Rebecca said. Me too, I said. We met with Dr. Morrison once a month after that. It helped. Not immediately, but gradually. April, Derek called from prison. I didn't answer, let it go to voicemail. Tom, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I want to apologize. For everything. I was wrong, about all of it. I hope someday you can forgive me. I deleted the message. Rebecca asked if he'd called. He did. What did he say? He apologized. Are you going to forgive him? No. Good. Me neither. May, I took Rebecca and Owen to dinner. A nice restaurant. My treat. What's the occasion? Owen asked. No occasion, just felt like it. We ate, we talked, we enjoyed each other's company. On the way out, Rebecca said, I'm proud of us for getting here, Me too, I said, and I meant it. June, I updated my trust, added a provision. If I died, 20% would go to charity. The other 80% would be split between Rebecca and Owen. Not because I forgave them completely, but because they were trying, and that mattered. I didn't tell them, just made the change, locked it away. July, Rebecca got a promotion. She called to tell me. Director of Marketing. Can you believe it? I can. You're good at what you do. Thanks, Dad. You deserve it. Thank you. For everything. For giving me a second chance. You earned it. August, Owen got engaged. To a woman I'd never met. Her name is Lisa, he said. She's amazing. You'll love her. I'm sure I will. Will you come to the engagement party? Of course. The party was in September. I met Lisa. She was smart, kind, nothing like Derek. Your son talks about you constantly, she said. Good things, I hope. Always. I watched Owen with her. He was happy, really happy, and I realized I was happy for him. October, Rebecca asked if I'd walk her down the aisle. What? When I get married again someday. Will you walk me down the aisle? You're not even dating anyone. I know, but when I do, when I'm ready. Will you? I looked at her. My daughter, who'd hurt me, who'd tried, who'd earned her way back. Yes, I said. I will. She cried, hugged me. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. November came. Thanksgiving. Rebecca invited me over. Just us. Like last year, but different. Different how? Better. I went. We sat around the same table. In Owen's apartment. Rebecca cooked again. Turkey this time. Stuffing. All of it from scratch. It was perfect. We talked. We laughed. We remembered. At one point, Owen raised his glass. To Dad, for being difficult enough to teach us what really matters. Rebecca raised hers too. To Dad. I raised mine. To family. Whatever that means. We drank. And for the first time in a year, I felt at peace. December came fast. The holidays were easier this year. Rebecca and Owen included me in everything. Shopping, decorating, planning. It felt good. Different from before, but good. The week before Christmas, I got a call from the prison. Derek wanted to see me. Why? I asked the administrator. He's requesting a visitor. You're on his approved list. I didn't approve anything. Your daughter did, Rebecca Thomas. She listed you as family. I hung up, called Rebecca. Did you put me on Derek's visitor list? Yes. I'm sorry. I should have asked first. Why would you do that? Because he's been writing to me, apologizing, asking about you. I thought maybe... No. Dad, no, Rebecca. I'm not visiting him. I'm not forgiving him. I'm not doing anything that involves Derek. Okay, I understand. Do you? Yes, I'm sorry. I overstepped. I hung up, deleted my name from the visitor list, but I kept thinking about it. Derek in prison, writing letters, apologizing. Too little, too late. Christmas came. We spent it at my house this year. Rebecca cooked, Owen helped, Lisa joined us. It was crowded, loud, messy, perfect. New Year's Eve, I stayed home. Rebecca and Owen invited me out, but I declined. I'm too old for New Year's parties, I said. You're 63, Dad. That's not old. It's old enough. I spent the evening alone, watching the ball drop on TV, thinking about the past year, everything that had happened, everything that had changed. At midnight, my phone buzzed. Rebecca. Happy New Year, Dad. I love you. Owen. Happy New Year. See you in 2026. Lisa. Happy New Year, Tom. Thanks for welcoming me into the family. I texted back to all of them, then poured myself a drink. To new beginnings. January 2026. Back to normal. Or the new normal anyway. Rebecca called every week. Owen visited regularly. Lisa came by sometimes, asking about family history, wanting to know my stories. I told her some, not everything. Some things stayed buried. February, Martin called. How's the family reunion going? Better than expected. You trust them again? Not completely, but enough. Good. You deserve to be happy. Do I? Yeah, Tom, you do. March brought news. Derek was up for early release. Good behavior. Rehabilitation programs. Rebecca called, worried. He might get out in 4 years instead of 7. How do you feel about that? Scared. Why? Because I don't want to see him. I don't want him in my life. Then don't let him be. He's going to try. You know he will. And you're going to say no. You're stronger now. Am I? Yes, you are. She was quiet for a moment. Thank you. For what? For believing in me. April, Owen, and Lisa got married. Small ceremony. Just family and close friends. I walked Lisa down the aisle. Her father had passed away years ago. She'd asked if I would stand in. It would be an honor, I'd said. The wedding was beautiful, simple, honest. I watched Owen and Lisa exchange vows, watched them promise to love each other, protect each other. I hoped they meant it. Afterward, at the reception, Rebecca came up to me. Thank you for being here. Where else would I be? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here. We danced. Father-daughter dance, even though it wasn't my wedding. Do you forgive me? She asked, as we moved slowly across the floor. I'm working on it. Is that enough? For now. May brought complications. Derek was released early, 4 years served instead of 7. Rebecca called, panicked. He's out. He called me. What did he say? He wants to meet, to apologize, to explain. Are you going to? No. I told him to leave me alone. Good. But what if he doesn't? What if he shows up? Then you call the police. You have a restraining order. Use it. Okay. Rebecca, you don't owe him anything. Remember that. I know. June. Derek showed up at my house. I was in the garage when I heard the car. Looked up. Saw him walking toward me. He looked different. Thinner. Older. Prison had changed him. Tom, he said, you need to leave. I just want to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Please, 5 minutes. I set down the wrench I was holding. You have 2. He nodded. I'm sorry. For everything. For trying to take your money. For manipulating Rebecca. For all of it. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Derek? That I forgive you? I don't. I understand, but I want you to know I've changed. People don't change. They just get better at hiding who they are. That's not fair. Neither is fraud. He flinched. I paid for that. 4 years. You paid the legal price. You haven't paid the personal one. What's the personal price? You lost Rebecca. You lost your freedom. You lost any respect people had for you. And you lost the chance to ever be part of this family again. That's harsh. That's reality. He looked at the ground. Can I see her? Just once? No. Why not? Because she doesn't want to see you, and I'm not going to help you pressure her. I'm not pressuring. You're here, aren't you? Showing up unannounced, asking me to intervene. That's pressure. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, tell her I'm sorry, please. Tell her yourself, in a letter, through a lawyer, but don't show up here again. He nodded, walked back to his car, drove away. I watched him leave, then called Rebecca. Derek was here. What? He came by, wanted to apologize. I sent him away. Is he gone? Yes. Thank God. Did he say anything about me? He wanted to see you. I said no. Thank you. You're welcome. July, Rebecca started dating someone new, a teacher named Michael. She brought him to family dinner. Everyone, this is Michael. He was nervous, polite, nothing like Derek. Nice to meet you, I said. You too, sir. We talked. I asked questions. He answered honestly. After dinner, Rebecca pulled me aside. What do you think? He seems nice. That's it? Just nice? What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me if you think he's good enough. I looked at her. Rebecca, I can't tell you that. You have to decide for yourself. But what if I'm wrong again? Then you're wrong. But you learned from Derek. You're smarter now. Trust yourself. She nodded. Okay. But for what it's worth, he seems like a good guy. She smiled. Thank you. August brought peace. Real peace. The kind where days passed without drama. I worked in my garden, had dinner with my family, read books, lived quietly. It was boring. It was perfect. September, Rebecca called with news. Michael proposed. And? I said yes. Congratulations. You're not surprised. Should I be? I don't know. It's only been 3 months. When you know, you know. That's what Michael said. Smart man. Will you walk me down the aisle? For real this time? Of course. Thank you, Dad. You're welcome. October brought planning, wedding planning. Rebecca was doing it differently this time, smaller, more intimate, more honest. I don't want a big production, she said. I just want the people who matter. Sounds perfect. November, Thanksgiving again. 2 years since the difficult comment. We gathered at my house, Rebecca, Owen, Lisa, Michael, and Martin, who'd become part of the family somehow. To Tom, Martin said, raising his glass, for surviving us all. Everyone laughed. To family, I said, whatever that means. We ate, we talked, we remembered. At one point, Rebecca looked at me. Are you happy, Dad? Yes, I said. I am. Good. You deserve to be. So do you. She smiled. I'm getting there. After dinner, we sat in the living room. Martin told stories about the old days. Owen talked about work. Lisa shared wedding photos. It was normal, boring, perfect. As they were leaving, Rebecca hugged me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. I love you, Dad. I love you too. December came. The year was ending. I sat in my study looking at the calendar. 2 years since everything had fallen apart. 2 years since I'd rebuilt it all. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Tom, it's Derek. I should have hung up, but curiosity got the better of me. What do you want? I heard Rebecca's getting married. She is. To someone good? Better than you? He laughed. Bitter. Fair enough. Why are you calling? Because I wanted to say thank you. For what? For protecting her, when I couldn't. I was quiet. I know you hate me, he continued. And you should. I destroyed everything, but you kept her safe. You helped her rebuild. So thank you. I didn't do it for you. I know, but still, thank you. He hung up. I sat there, holding the phone, processing. Derek had thanked me for protecting his ex-wife. From him. The irony wasn't lost on me, but neither was the sincerity. Maybe people could change after all, or maybe they just got better at pretending. Either way, it didn't matter. Derek was gone. Rebecca was happy. Owen was thriving, and I was at peace. That was enough. Rebecca's wedding was set for March 15th. Spring wedding, she'd said. Fresh start. The months leading up to it were busy, planning, shopping, organizing. I stayed out of most of it, but Rebecca kept me informed. I want you involved, Dad, she said. This is different from last time. How so? Last time I was trying to impress everyone. This time I'm just trying to be happy. Good plan. January 2027. The new year started quietly. Owen and Lisa announced they were expecting, due in August. You're going to be a grandfather, Owen said. The word hit me harder than I expected. Grandfather. Congratulations, I said. You okay, Dad? Yeah, just processing. It's a lot. It is. But it was good. A new generation, a fresh start. February brought cold weather and final wedding preparations. Rebecca asked me to help choose the music. I want something meaningful, she said. Something that represents us, our family. We spent an afternoon going through songs. Some made her cry, some made me remember. We settled on a classical piece for the processional. Simple, elegant, perfect, she said. The week before the wedding, Derek called again. I know I shouldn't, he said, but I wanted to wish her well. Then send a card. She won't read it. Probably not. Will you tell her I'm happy for her? No. Why not? Because it's not my job to carry your messages. If you want to tell her something, find your own way. Fair enough. He hung up. I told Rebecca about the call anyway. He called? He did. What did he want? To wish you well. That's, unexpected. Yeah. Did you tell him to stay away? I did. Good, thank you. March 15th arrived. The wedding was at a small venue outside the city. Gardens, sunshine, 50 guests. I stood with Rebecca in a side room while everyone gathered. You ready? I asked. I think so. Are you? To walk you down the aisle? Yes. No. To let me go. I looked at her. Rebecca, I let you go 2 years ago. This is just making it official. That's not what I mean. Then what do you mean? I mean, are you okay with all of this? With me moving on? I'm more than okay. I'm proud of you. Her eyes filled. Really? Really? Thank you, Dad. The music started. We walked to the entrance. The doors opened. Everyone stood. Michael waited at the altar, smiling. We walked slowly. Rebecca held my arm tight. Halfway down the aisle, she whispered, I'm sorry. For everything. For Thanksgiving. For Derek. For all of it. I know. Am I forgiven? You're forgiven. She squeezed my arm. We reached the altar. I kissed her cheek, placed her hand in Michael's. Take care of her, I said. I will, he promised. I sat down. Owen beside me, Lisa on his other side. The ceremony was beautiful, simple vows, honest promises. When they kissed, everyone cheered. At the reception, I gave a toast. To Rebecca and Michael, may your marriage be built on honesty, respect, and love. May you never call each other difficult. Everyone laughed. And may you always remember that family isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. We raised our glasses, drank. Rebecca came over later. That was a great toast. Thank you. Did you mean it? About family? Every word. Good. Because I want you to be part of this, part of my life, for real this time. I already am. She hugged me. I love you, Dad. I love you too. The party went late. Dancing, laughter, joy. I left around 10, drove home, changed into comfortable clothes, made coffee. My phone buzzed. Martin, how was the wedding? Perfect. Rebecca happy? Very. And you? Getting there. Good, you deserve it. I put the phone away, sat in my chair, looked around my house. 2 years ago, this place had been a fortress, protection against betrayal. Now it was just a house. A place I lived. A place my family visited. It was enough. April came. Rebecca and Michael went on their honeymoon. Owen and Lisa prepared for the baby. I worked in my garden. Life was quiet, normal, good. May brought news. Derek had moved to another state, somewhere far away. He'd sent Rebecca a letter, a real apology, no excuses, no requests. She showed it to me. What do you think? She asked. I think he's trying. Should I respond? Do you want to? I don't know. Then don't. Not yet. Maybe someday, or maybe never. It's your choice. Thank you. June. I updated my trust again. Added provisions for the baby, for future grandchildren, for Rebecca and Owen. Patricia reviewed it. This is generous. It's fair. They hurt you. They did, but they came back. They tried. That counts for something. Does it? To me it does. July brought heat. I spent most days inside, reading, thinking, planning. Owen stopped by one afternoon. You okay, Dad? Fine. Just hot. Lisa wants to know if you'll be at the birth. Do you want me there? We both do. Then I'll be there. August 12th, 3 a.m., my phone rang. Dad, it's time. I drove to the hospital, waited in the room with Owen while Lisa labored. At 7 a.m., my granddaughter was born, Emma, 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Owen held her first, then Lisa. Then they handed her to me. I looked down at this tiny person, this new life, this fresh start. Hi, Emma, I whispered. I'm your grandfather. She yawned. Everyone laughed. She's perfect, I said. She is, Owen agreed. Rebecca showed up an hour later, brought flowers, held Emma, cried. She's beautiful. She is. You're a grandfather now. I am. How does it feel? Terrifying, amazing, perfect. We stayed at the hospital all day, taking turns holding Emma, taking photos, making memories. That evening, driving home, I thought about everything that had happened. 2 years ago, my family had called me difficult. Now they were calling me grandfather. Things change. People grow. Families rebuild. September came. I spent most days with Emma, helping Owen and Lisa, being present. Rebecca visited often, brought meals, helped with laundry, being an aunt. We were a family again, different from before, better. October, Michael got a job offer, better pay, better location. They'd have to move. 2 hours away, Rebecca said. Is that too far? For what? For us, for family. Rebecca, you need to do what's right for you and Michael. I'll be fine. But I want to be close. 2 hours isn't far. We'll make it work. Promise? Promise. They moved in November. I helped pack, helped load the truck, helped unload at the new place. Their house was nice, bigger than her apartment, room for a future. What do you think? She asked. I think it's perfect. Good, because you're going to be spending a lot of time here. Am I? Yes, your family. And family visits. All right then. Thanksgiving 2027. 3 years since the difficult comment. We gathered at Rebecca's new house. Owen, Lisa, Emma, Michael, Martin, and me. We sat around the table, ate turkey, shared stories, laughed. At one point, Rebecca raised her glass. To Dad, for being difficult enough to save us all. Everyone raised their glasses. To Dad! I looked around the table, at my family, my imperfect, complicated, beautiful family. To family, I said, whatever that means. We drank, and I realized something. I'd won, not the way I'd planned, not through destruction or dominance, but through patience, through boundaries, through letting them find their way back. I'd protected myself, protected my assets, protected my dignity, and in doing so, I'd protected them too, from Derek, from themselves, from their worst impulses. They'd called me difficult. They'd been right. But difficult wasn't weakness. It was strength. December came. The year was ending. I sat in Rebecca's living room, holding Emma while she slept. Owen and Lisa were in the kitchen. Rebecca and Michael were decorating. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But I did. Tom, it's Derek. What do you want? I'm calling to say goodbye. I'm moving to Alaska, starting over. I won't bother you or Rebecca again. Good. I know you hate me, but I want you to know I'm grateful for protecting her, for being what I couldn't be. Derek, let me finish. You're a good man, a better man than me, and I hope someday you can forgive me. I doubt that. Fair enough. Goodbye, Tom. Goodbye, Derek. He hung up. I sat there, holding Emma, thinking. Derek was gone. Really gone. The threat was over. The family was safe. I'd won. Rebecca came over. Who was that? Wrong number. You sure? I'm sure. She sat beside me, looked at Emma. She's going to grow up knowing you, Rebecca said, knowing what you did for us. I didn't do anything. You did everything. You protected us. You stood firm. You didn't give up. I wanted to, but you didn't. That's what matters. I looked at her. My daughter, who'd hurt me, who'd healed, who'd grown. I'm proud of you, I said. I'm proud of you too, Dad. Emma stirred, opened her eyes, looked at me. Hi, sweet girl, I whispered. She smiled. And in that moment I knew this was what victory looked like. Not destruction, not dominance, but this: family, love, peace. I'd been called difficult, and I'd proved them right, but I'd also proved them wrong, because difficult didn't mean weak. It meant strong enough to set boundaries, strong enough to say no, strong enough to protect what mattered, strong enough to let them come back when they were ready. I looked around the room, at my children, at my grandchild, at my family. This was my revenge, not their destruction, but their salvation, and mine.